Well, welcome everybody to the AirRestore Saturday morning webinar. It's the 13th of May, and it is great. I'm doing this call a little different than I ever have before. I am up in Washington, D.C. today doing this one from a tablet. And so if I look a little awkward, sound a little funny, that's why it is. But I think that these meetings are so important because it is a way for us to be able to put a lot of information together to share with each other about what's working, what's not working, and bring people up to date. And I got a great panel this week. And so panel, I just kind of go around the table here and introduce you and introduce yourself. And so we'll start with Caesar. How you doing, Caesar?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm doing very well. Thank you very much. Welcome to Houston. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm looking forward to being down there as well. And Dave Miller and Lori.
We are Dave and Lori Miller in Fort Worth, Texas, and we are very excited about the future in this company. Great things are happening.
They sure are, and looking forward to seeing you too in the future. We'll be talking about that in a minute. Mr. Ball.
Yes, good morning to everyone. We're excited here in Arkansas about the opportunity that we have and looking forward to a tremendous future with AirRestore.
Super. Ken?
Yes, sir. Welcome from beautiful Spring Branch, Texas.
Good. I'm looking forward to seeing you and Mary down there as well. We got a lot of people on here I'm going to be seeing. Lori, how are things in Tennessee?
Good morning, Lori G. from Crossville, Tennessee. A little cloudy today, but we'll make it.
Wonderful. And Sherry, how are things in New Jersey?
I think her video's locked up.
Okay. She'll be back on in just a minute, I think. And so, and finally, Eric, how are things in Minnesota?
We're doing good up here. It's yeah, it's a gorgeous day up here. Even though I'm sitting in the shadows, it's good to be here.
Very good. Well, glad to have you, panel. I appreciate you all being here
Today.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm joking. I say Barb and I are see-through today.
Oh my goodness! All right, I missed you. Did I miss anybody else?
It's okay. I just
Share.
I have no self-control.
Okay. Well.
How about Shar?
Yeah, don't forget to share.
Oh yeah, sure. My goodness.
Good morning from beautiful Bluffton, South Carolina. It's a great day and excited to be with you all this morning. Good morning.
Well, good. Glad to have everybody on board, and we are got a lot of information I kind of want to cover today. Eric, I'm going to start with you a little bit. Talk a little bit about the promotion that we've got going this month, and if you're getting the feeling people are reacting to it. I know that there's been some discussion that people are kind of looking about getting the rewards of the promotion. And so if you would, why don't you just kind of lay out what the promotion is, and then start us off by telling what people's reactions to it, and then we'll kind of go around the table, and any panelist that's got some feedback on it, let me know.
Sure. Yep. Well, so for the month of May, we did a little promotion that's since Mother's Day is well tomorrow, we called it the Mother's Day promotion, and from May 1st to the 31st, if you enroll 2 new, you receive a free element, and you also, if you have not already, you promote to master dealer. And again, it's a great way to get new people in. It's a great way to share the product. And if you are already a master dealer or above, you can and do the same thing. Enroll 2 new. Well, this is actually a little bit different. If you enroll 2 new master dealers, so if you get 2 people to do the promotion, you can upgrade one of your, maybe if you have an older whole home system, you can upgrade that up to an Element whole home system for free.
Excellent. So are you getting any feel anybody's responding to it?
Starting to. It takes a little bit to get, you know, to find new dealers and to bring them in. But I think we have one that's already, at least one that's already qualified. And a lot of people have been calling in about exactly how it works.
Excellent. Well, panelists, anybody had any of your people, are people reacting to it? Are we going to be getting mothers out there that are getting AirRestores and Elements? Sherry.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Yes, I can. Yep. So are people reacting to the special deal we've got going this month?
Oh, I think people are really beginning to realize the special now, you know, and we have a few working on it. We already have one who qualified for that. So even with Charlie's group, there are a few actually working on it too. And I know some are qualified, I just don't remember the number. So it's something that everybody welcomes. And imagine if you're a brand new dealer and you sponsor 2 new dealers, you become a master dealer right away. That's only 2 new dealers. Plus,
Right.
of course, get a free gift, you know, the free gift. One extra element. They're excited about that too.
And you know, the thing
And
that people, the thing we
Yeah.
have to emphasize to people is this is not going to go on. I mean, this is definitely going to end when we come to the end of this month, because you need to build an organization to be successful. But if there are people out there that have got an organization that they think they can quickly put together, getting to be master dealer that quickly is an incredible opportunity, but it's not going to last long. And time goes very, very quickly. You know, we're halfway through the month, so there's only 2 weeks left on it. So really quick, I think we really need to get people's attention on that. Lori, I see you kind of nodding your head there a little bit as a point of emphasis. Are you promoting it?
Yes, I am. I have my dealers are very excited about moving up to master dealers. And then I remind them that when they get one more after that too, then they have their R3, which is a free whole home system on top of that. So once you get your 2, it's not that big of a jump to get that 3rd one for your R3.
No, that's a fact. And so that's what we got to do. We just have to keep promoting, because it's so easy for people to lose track of where they are. So Eric, next week I expect a much better report on things that we can do, and people. It's just so important to keep it going.
Yep.
The other thing that's really important to keep going, I think, as well, is that we've really started promoting as of last week and this week. But you know, just from the standpoint of the Zoom meeting, the idea of having meetings and really starting to focus on the idea of having local meetings, and they don't have to be big meetings, don't have to be gigantic 1,000 people meetings. This business is done around the kitchen table, and I know John and Bob Dorgan have really they're my poster children for building around kitchen tables, and because I think that's where the business is really done. And I know John and Barb, you guys have now started going back and having meetings again, haven't you?
Yes, yeah, besides the kitchen table, don't forget different shows, because they're a wealth of leads. But anyway, yeah, we do have a lot of people, had a few people of the leaders over Thursday, and we put together a little packet for them and explained the Mother's Day promotion to them, went over pricing, presentation, et cetera, et cetera. We had a nice little meeting, and we gave them a little packet that included a little pocket fisherman, you know, Pope Hill pocket fisherman. Well, this fish is lead for you. This is it's actually for an elevator sale pitch. And I hate to say pitch, it's not pitch. You're really sharing. We're not pitchers. Either are the sacks. But anyway, we have it italicized for a little longer pitch. The bold print is for the short pitch, and then we got the whole thing in there. I keep saying to the pitch. What's wrong with me? But anyway, sharing. And we went over that and some other things, and I think they're all excited again, and we're gonna kick some butt. We're gonna grow.
Well, John, I got to tell you, most people don't have time to listen to a full presentation anyway. And
Right.
no matter whether it's now politically correct to call it a pitch or not, that's about how much time you have to make your point. And so when you call it a pitch, that is not far off. That's just about as much time as you've got. Share, why not? I know that you've been an expert at the idea of having an elevator pitch at your tips. What do you call them?
I call it a spiel.
I like pitch better. Okay. but you know that whatever we're going to call it, having it at your fingertips is so important. And I know that anything we do, anything that we can start to do to help people understand this very complex problem. Because if you want the long version, I'm more than happy to give you the long version. I can put you to sleep anytime. But to be able to hold somebody's attention for just a few minutes, a few seconds to get their interest, that's what it's really all about. And that's why I'm so pleased to see that you're kind of doing that kind of thing. So in addition now to that, has anybody else held a meeting or is planning to start with held a meeting first in the last week or so? And how are you going with it? How's it going? Dave and Lori, I know that you may not have held a meeting, but you're getting ready to have a meeting. And are you contacting people and having small stuff in preparation for it? What? Talk about
Yes, we are. And one of the things, we're getting a lot of experience in this. and one of the things that we have finally figured out is that if your focus is inviting people to a meeting, and we want to do that, but if our focus is inviting people to a meeting, not many people are interested in a meeting.
No.
But when our focus is to find the people who are looking for a second or third income and let them know we have a step-by-step plan to do this, and sit down with them beforehand and just give them a broad brushstroke of what you're going to be presenting on Thursday. Make it all about them and a way for them to have that need met. It comes to a lot more people that are committed to come to that meeting, not for us, but for them, and to solve a problem that they have and that has been gnawing at them for a long time. So we've kind of shifted our focus, and it's becoming apparent to us that it's effective.
Cool. Really good. Great. Well, Ken, you're putting together a whole series of meetings that orchestrating it. How does it feel to be an orchestrator of meetings? And what's my schedule going to look like?
Well, I was just finishing up as we were talking the last venue, and I'm sending it to Eric right now. And you know, that's what it's all about. It's not about your personal production. It's about leadership. You know, getting. It's all about helping other people achieve what they want to achieve. And we're excited. We're excited that Rick Stein can't be here today because he's at a real estate seminar. But you know, he's got his location there in Springfield, Missouri. And I just encourage all of you to feed into these meetings everywhere they are. And they're meet and greets rather than meetings, Dave. And I think that'll help us if we just change our verbiage a little bit. And then, of course, Dave Ball, you've got yours set up, right, in Benton?
Yes, it's all set up for Wednesday. Actually, we're going to have two. We're going to have one at 2 o'clock. The real estate agent had several other agents that wanted to come at 2. And so we're going to have a meeting at 2, or a meet and greet, Ken. I'm sorry. And then we're also going to have one at 6 o'clock, which we'd originally planned. And so we're going to just pack the place, you know, send all your people there. And we look forward to a full house.
you know, the good part about that is that you won't have two meet and greets separately. A lot of those people from that afternoon will decide, wait a minute, I believe I'm excited about this, and they'll bring people into the one you've got at night. So you're really feeding your primary meet and greet that night. So that's good move. And then we've got David and Laurie. David, you've got set up at a restaurant, right?
We actually have ours set up at a hotel,
Okay.
and that is don't have the address right now. It's on the 18th, this Thursday. And it's in Lake Worth, Boat Club Road. Not sure the number right now. Lori's going to get it, but it's 7 o'clock on Thursday, the 18th.
You got 6:30 registration, right?
That's right.
Now, is that a Hampton Inn or what?
It's a Best Western Plus.
Best Western in Lake Worth.
Right. And
Great.
it's the only one. The number on the street is 3920. It's 3920 Boat Club Road.
Great.
Thank you, Lori.
And then just got confirmation from Mickey Garrett that it's going to be at his home there in Brownwood, Texas. I'm sending this to you right now, Eric. It's going to be at 1410 Phillips Drive, Brownwood, Texas. And Mickey and Janet are really excited about getting restarted, so to speak. You know, there are times in business where every business kind of takes a look at it and says, okay, now I need to approach it from a different angle. I need to be more serious about it. You know, it's do it now. And then ours, Bill, is going to be a brunch meet and greet from here at our home in Spring Branch, Texas. Really based on your kind of insistence and encouragement. And so we'll do a 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then if people want to hang around as they have in the past, I'm sure you'll be available and we'll take advantage of that. But anyway, we're excited about the fact that we're swinging you through the central part of the country, and we're expecting huge results. And to go back to the promotion, people are just now getting the message, so to speak. And somehow we've got to encourage them to go back to their websites, re-engage and get the message so that they can get excited, they can participate. And so we expect a lot of master dealers and expect some distributors and maybe even some sales managers come out of this thing, because this is a unique opportunity and it's a chance for people to jumpstart, so to speak, and get on track.
Ken, what are the dates of these meetings that you just said?
Well, that's a good question, Lori. With the first one is May the 16th, Tuesday night. That's in Missouri, Springfield, Missouri. May the 17th in Benton, Arkansas. May the 18th in Fort Worth. Actually, it's Lake Worth, which is a suburb of Fort Worth, Texas. And then the 19th in Brownwood, Texas, and then the 20th here in Spring Branch.
You know, around or in Greenville, Tennessee, we have an expression that sounds to me like I'm going to be worked like a rented mule.
Well, that's what we got you for, man. You just had a birthday, so you got a brand new year to work on.
I didn't want to use it all up in one day.
I want to tell you something. I'm going to tell you what you told me in Las Vegas. You got another good year.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I did. That's all right. I did say that to you. That's fair. I really hate it when you be fair. That's not very nice. Well, that's just absolutely super. It looks like, you know, those meetings that we're having, those are the bread and butter. I know that people think that everything is electronic now and that there are computer ways to do things that are more efficient and better. But the truth of the matter is, around the table is where meetings really, really occur. There's something about an environment where it's non-threatening, where people can focus on what the business is and not have to focus nearly as much of how to tell you politely, no, they're not interested. And so it is a much better way, and especially for long-term relationships. And I think that's where sales managers come from. I think you're exactly right. Sherry, we kind of left you out of this particular swing, but I know that you've got meetings that are now scheduled, or not scheduled, but you're ready to start having them as you're going to be working in New Jersey. And I think last time we talked about North Carolina. How are you coming with your meetings? Sherry Yassi.
Yes, I'm having problem with my audio and everything here. I don't know why. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you perfect.
Oh, okay. So we've started the meetings here in New Jersey. I haven't been to Carolina because, well, the weather today is really lousy anyhow. But we are scheduled to have a booth on the 28th in the Philippine Independence Day Parade in Jersey City. So that should be a well-attended affair. And I'm looking forward to really getting a lot of leads in that meeting. And of course, we're planning to go to Maryland and Virginia too on the way to Carolina. But the exact meeting dates have not been set yet. But we are going to start in homes in those areas. So pretty much that's the schedule for May. And we're waiting for you to announce our grand launching in June.
Well, you know, the people that are smart are the ones that never wait for the launching, but get ahead of it a little bit. And that's exactly what we're really doing here. And so, Lori, let's talk a little bit about what you're doing up in Tennessee.
Oh goodness, I've got so many different people in different areas. It's not always confined to Tennessee. So I have a current California dealer who is actually in Pennsylvania now, and we're spreading the word all the way around. I've showed her how to approach campgrounds, and she's having a blast with that because she stays at campgrounds. I've not had any meetings yet, but I'm working on having some soon, and you're going to be coming to my house or somewhere close to my house, Bill. Just warning you.
All right. Well, we've you know, it's a short drive over there, and everybody knows that after a trip like I'm going to be taking down through Texas, everything is a short drive by comparison, and so that's going to be a big tough one. And so that's you know, that's really nice. You know, you got some people now scattered all over the country. I do believe that's called networking, and I think that's the whole idea of what we're doing. Caesar, I know you're just getting back and getting some momentum going, but you've even got some pretty exciting things going on down there. Just talk about what your plans are for the future.
I want to share how proud I am about one of our distributors. While AirRestore was rescheduling things up, she attended and joined other networking companies just to compare. But after seeing everything, she finally decided that really AirRestore is the best networking, the best product, and so she will be sponsoring a national event. And it pays a lot, to sponsor a national convention. And she's one of the owners of our assisted nursing home facility, and she will be sponsoring that national event for the convention of the home care industry, assisted living industry. And she wanted to promote AirRestore in that convention. And as I told you, Bill, and all she wanted is for you to help her out in the presentation for that convention. So excited about that. Thank you.
Looking forward to it. You know, we got a lot of good stuff working. There's a lot of other people that have got some things going that are going to continue to move us ahead. And it's not going to take very long before we become the recognized place to be, the hottest thing going. I'm not sure they always like to be in that position, but there is nobody that's got a better product or a better marketing plan or anything else than we do. And we're just not going to be able to keep it secret much longer. And people are going to actually find out about it.
Can I add something to that, Bill?
Sure can.
Yes, in conjunction with what Caesar was saying, Josie and I went to a assisted living also in North Jersey, not realizing that the owner was my friend too for many, many years. So she changed her last name, so I didn't get it. But anyhow, at first she said she just wanted to be a customer. She just ordered one system. After a few days, well, yesterday, she told me, no, Sherry, I want 2 systems now. So in other words, she's now a dealer. And then now she is saying so many people now are in her mind and she wants to get some more systems in the future. So that's really something, you know, and her facility is very nice and very clean. No smells or whatsoever. That's very common for assisted livings and for this elder care. But believe me, once they try the units and once they see the opportunity, no matter whether you're the owner or you're the cook or whatever your position is in that facility, you will go for AirRestore and you want to sign up too. And that's exactly what happened to us.
That's incredible. Now, is that a different person than we were talking about last week that made $800 and discovered?
Oh yeah. No. Faye is her name is Faye, and she owns that assisted living facility. Josie actually is her friend too, so Josie and I went there. When she saw me, she was shocked because she didn't realize that it was me. I haven't seen her for years and years too. So we will follow up on her, and I'm sure that that facility will be an advertising for AirRestore. Super.
Well, let me just change up for a little bit here. As everybody knows that in our plant in Greenville, Tennessee, I have arranged my office so that I'm very close to where all of the upgrades and any product that is returned comes. And so I get a good chance to see what is coming back in from the field. And first of all, I will tell you, when you realize how many machines that we have out, there are not a lot of things coming back in. That's good because it gives us a chance to really get in and figure out what's going on with a lot of our product. And because we do it like that, we have I have the ability to see exactly what's going on. And recently, I've noticed 2 things. We've got 2 issues going on that are really, really tough, where people are concerned that whether or not that there is something wrong with their product or whether it's normal for their product or what they should have to do. And it's come to my attention is that we really need to redo our cleaning video because I think we're causing people to over clean the product because the product just does not need to be cleaned as often as we're cleaning it. And so let me just kind of go back and as a refresher and talk to people, talk about where it is and how it is that we have to clean the product so we can get this down. I lost it. I'll get it here in just a second. I'll come back to that one in a minute. All right. So let me come back to that one in just a minute. And in the meantime, Eric talked just a little bit about what we've done about tying in with PayPal, because I think there's been some confusion about that. If you could just kind of walk through that process for us.
Okay. Well, really, the PayPal, it really hasn't changed that much. We've got, you still are able to sign up for the 6 months interest free, and the process is fairly easy. PayPal is, for being such a big company, I'm surprised at how much trouble they have with that system. But so if you ever have someone that, I know Sherry had someone that was using PayPal, and it's almost easier if you call and or fill out the paperwork and then call and follow up, especially if you're applying for the credit part of it, because it's they do treat it like it's very, very, very secure. And so they, if there's any issue in the or a discrepancy with like a zip code or with a phone number and email, they tend to lock it up. And so, whoa, your screen, there we go. They tend to lock it up, and so it just takes a phone call to straighten all that out. So I encourage you guys to do that, and the PayPal option works great. So if you have people that are a little strapped financially, it's a great option that doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, and getting 6 months free, basically, with no interest if you don't need to pay it back. Great way to start the business. Anybody that's dead serious about it, that's got any kind of credit at all, is going to be able to get up and running and make this thing really work. Well, I finally got back and was able to master getting what I wanted to show on. And so I'm going to go back and show a video, show some things that we actually unveiled at the Las Vegas meeting. And I'm going to go back and talk about a little bit about why and where we need to clean these things. And so if you can remember, the difference between the product that we've had in the past and what we have now is that we have got a completely different plate. We call it the coplasma plate. And remember, if you recall, all of what we do in the creation of all these elements is occurring in the area that you can see with the white light in here. And this is the area finally that is going to accumulate contaminant, because as you can see with the energy discharge in there, it's kind of an attraction. It's going to attract a certain amount of dirt. But the thing that we have really done by making this thing the way we have made it, as you can see, with basically a round wire that's attached to a flat plate. And believe me, there's some real science that's gone on to figuring out how to do that, because none of those materials are compatible. This is the heart of what gives us all of these additional elements in the air, where we create the hydroxyls and the single molecules of oxygen and the free hydrogen. All these kinds of things are created right in this area. And so if there's going to be a place that's going to get dirty, this is where it's going to be. But the thing that is so different about what we've had before and what everybody has had before and what we have now is the concept about using a round wire on a flat plate. And as you can see, all of these areas in here are basically would have to fill up with solid material before it gets dirty. And you can see then as you start and it gets a little dirty in here, it still gives you all of the additional surfaces. So until this thing gets really packed with junk, it is going to continue to work. And it may look ugly, but it's still going to work. And the problem is that unless you're very careful, I mean, you don't really have to be very careful about making cleaning it out. You just have to get some of the crud off. So where in the past that we have had to try to use emery boards and try to get into this area in here and try to get all around the edges, all you really have to do is get something in there. And I recommend just a swab, maybe with a little bit of alcohol on it. It almost can be almost anything that you can put in there. And all you really need to do is wipe around this thing. The other side of the plate that's flat doesn't have anything to do with anything. But I've seen them come in where it looks like people have tried to use emery boards on them and Dremel tools and things like that. So I think that we will be making a new video, but in the meantime, if we can get the word out, this just requires light cleaning. And the tips are the same way. You can't clean these tips. Gradually what's going to happen is one tip or the other will start to accumulate some material on there. And all you really have to do is just use a tissue or a piece of cloth or your fingernail and just make sure that the absolute tip, just the absolute tip here is still sharp and pointed. And that's all you really have to do is just with this little spot right in here and of course in here. So if all of this that's down here gets really nasty, dirty, it really doesn't make any difference. It's the tip that's important. And that's why we say you only really need to clean them maybe once or twice a year. Look at them, obviously, and see what they're gathering and make sure that we don't try to over clean it. It's very easy if you just really get in there too aggressively to break a wire. And so we've had a couple of wires break off. So that's one of the issues. The second issue that we have is not so much the wire. It's not so much a cleaning issue as it is a noise issue. Let's talk about the noise. There's different kinds of noises that you hear. Some noises are just air movement, and the air movement noise is because the fan is got maybe a rough edge on a blade, which all plastic blades do. It varies from fan to fan, and so some noise is pretty common. So if you put your ear up and get something like this, and you can hear it, and it's just kind of a solid noise, that's perfectly normal. And sometimes with the element, it's louder than it is on others, and that's because we made no effort in the element to make it quiet. If you really need to have a quiet unit, go to the Aura, because the Aura has got some special changes in them, so that if you have somebody that's very noise sensitive, you want to use one in the bedroom, then get an Aura. The performance is pretty much the same. There's some additional changes that go on with some of the elements, the way the elements work, but it's going to work as well as an element, maybe a little slower, but it will be quiet. And if you're in an area where you need a lot of power, so that we really need the element, you generally don't care about the noise. Now, both those kinds of noises are normal noise. Let's talk about abnormal noise. Abnormal noise is where you really know it. I mean, when you walk into a room and you hear it, that's abnormal. That isn't the kind of noise that we're talking about. Abnormal noise has to do with the fan getting out of balance. Sharon Weinrow, we were just playing around on the call earlier on. Would you like to try to make the noise of the lower pitched one that we were talking about? Well, at the no, you didn't quite catch that. You were a little lower octave, but the with your lip. There you go. What that is, it's a low frequency buzz, and it sounds like you can almost feel. You know, when you touch the unit, it's going to feel like it's vibrating a little bit. And that's because that you end up capturing lint on the inside of it. And it's because of all the high voltage in there, it'll capture lint. So how do you get the lint out? You can take them apart and do that. And it's not very glamorous, but the easiest way to get lint out is just put your lips on the back of the machine and just explosively blow. And you'll be surprised. It takes 2 or 3 blows and that noise goes away and it will stay away. And what you've done is there's some lint inside there that's been attracted, got on the blades, and unbalanced the blades, and that's what made it. Now, the third noise it means that there is a problem. So if it's making, now you can make the screechy noise. Go ahead. You were muted.
Yeah, I got on mute.
Yeah, when you get that kind of a noise, when you get a high frequency noise like that, that is a problem. We are not seeing very many of that high frequency noise. Almost every noise that we hear are either just plain fan noise where people really should have gotten an aura, or we are hearing that low frequency noise. And just as a matter of fact, the unit that we traveled with last night, in the middle of the night, got a piece of lint in there. And I just had to blow it out, and it blew out, and the unit was perfectly quiet after that. So here's the rules to follow so that it just makes life easier for everybody. If you really, really want a quiet unit, go for an aura. And if you want a unit that's normally pretty quiet, you don't really need it, still the Element is the best, or the same thing is true with the Tempest, either one of those units, because they are not selected and not made super quiet, because we want more performance out of them. And if you hear a low frequency rumbling or something that sounds like it's making the machine vibrate, then it's a matter of blowing it out. And if you don't want to put your lips on the back of the machine, you can get a little can of air, or you can, in the alternative, take it apart and clean it, because if you look carefully up around that fan, you'll almost always see a little piece of lint in there. And by taking that piece of lint out, you're able to make it quiet again. And finally, if it does make a screechy noise, it does mean that occasionally a bearing is going to go bad, and that's the time to quickly call in and get a replacement, and we'll get it out to you in a hurry. So I think a little teaching that goes along, and it's kind of fun. You can all sit around and practice making share noises about how to be able to tell whether you've got the right amount of air, the right amount of noise coming out of your machine. Anybody got a comment on those?
You know, Bill, with the improvement in the fans, the noise has reduced dramatically. So I don't see that as an issue anymore.
Well, once it's kind of like once you start a rumor, it's hard to get rid of a rumor. And somebody heard that there was noise, and so everybody's got a different interpretation of noise. Our normal fan noise, our normal loud noise, is quieter than most people's quiet noise. We have gotten so spoiled to a unit that almost makes no noise at all, especially when you go down to an aura type machine, that nobody that deals with air cleaning devices at all expect them to be that quiet. So normally, you're right, we are very, very quiet, and unless you're listening for it. But once somebody starts to listen for it, you just need to be sure they understand what it is they're hearing.
They ought to go back to one of those old filters that like used to be so prevalent, man. Sound like a jet engine.
Well, that's the whole point. You get a HEPA filter, and you can't stand to be in the same room with them. They make so much noise because they're trying to suck all that air in that room through that HEPA filter, and it just is not possible to do. And that's one of the things that just absolutely separates us from everybody else, is the fact that we are quiet, and we're not trying to move all the air. All we're trying to do is put energy in the air to make it happen, to get it to act like outdoor air.
Bill,
Anybody else want to go ahead? Go ahead, Lori.
What about our smell test with our units to make sure that they're working? I have a lot of people asking me, I don't smell the ozone. Is there a wait time after they've been cleaned, or can you explain that a little bit for me?
Well, there's a couple issues. If you're cleaning them and you use alcohol, for example, and you make the plate wet, because alcohol is anywhere from 30 to 70, 80% water with most purchased alcohols, and you get the plate wet, then you don't have the high voltages on the plate, and so you oftentimes need to wait about an hour. I think, Eric, you've done some experimenting with how long you need to wait before evaluating whether the unit is dry again.
Yeah, it doesn't take very long at all. I just let it run and walk away for a while. And by the time I remember that it was running, it's usually about time. So 20 minutes.
Yeah. And let's go back and talk about the other aspect of it is that because we are not an ozone generator, we are producing all kinds of other things at the same time with the goal that when you've got the air as clean as it is outdoors, you shouldn't really be able to smell the ozone on an element. Because at that point, the ozone and the free hydrogen and the hydroxyls and everything are all balanced out just like they are in the outdoor air, and there is no residual odor. And that's a very important thing because our goal is just the opposite of an ozone generator. With an ozone generator in the old products that I built years and years ago, the idea was you wanted to gradually build that ozone level up until you had to start turning the machine down. That's the way you knew that the air was clean. And with what we do, it's just the opposite. When you can actually smell the ozone is when things are out of balance in the initial phases. And so as it starts to get better and better and the air gets cleaner and cleaner, there is less smell of ozone than in the very beginning because now the hydrogen, because when you can smell the ozone, it's not because you're making more ozone, it's because you're making less, the hydrogen is being used up that would normally balance it. And so it is a very poor way of testing. My absolute way of testing whether or not a unit is performing as it should perform is doing something like the ammonia test. That is the most valid, it is the most sure thing that you can do. And it does take just a little vial of ammonia and any kind of a napkin or a handkerchief, and you can tell in a minute whether the unit is working or not. Sense of smell is very unreliable, and especially when you're producing small amounts as we are. Did I get anywhere close to helping, Lori?
Yes, you did. It's a matter of just wordage, and I don't know how to word it because I know what you're saying. I just don't know how to say it to people. So the ammonia test is a good way to go back on that.
Yeah, the sense of smell is very unreliable because your sense of smell is halfway functions because of what you're expecting to smell. And when you step outside, you very seldom smell ozone unless you're in an entryway or something like that. And yet there's always the same level that we're producing. So what is the difference? The difference is outdoors is always balanced. Indoors, as you're cleaning it up and when you put your face right in front of it, and when you put your face in front of one side as opposed to the other side even, because on one side you have more free hydrogen on here. So when you're putting your face in front of it, it is not a reliable test. And the best thing to do, if anybody ever has a question, say, well, let's test it. And then when you test it and see the ammonia is gone, then there's no question, is it your sense of smell? Is it because the other thing that happens is that the longer you put your nose in front of something like ozone, the less you smell it. When you first put perfume on, you smell perfume really strong. And after an hour, if somebody says, are you wearing perfume? You realize, I don't smell it anymore. Well, you didn't smell it because it went away. And because your sense of smell said, I'm not going to pay attention to that anymore, so it just goes away. So your sense of smell ebbs and fades out a little bit on a particular odor all the time anyway. Well, panel, anybody got a question or a subject that you'd like to address before we wrap it up? Well, everybody, I thank you for being on this Saturday morning. Cedar, I'm glad to see you're back from your vacationing. We're going to have to get something started down there in that Houston area. We got a lot of stuff going. I think kicking that thing off, the nursing thing is a great event. I'm looking forward to being down there. Ken, thank you for putting together the whole group with Dave and Rick, and that is going to, I am looking forward to that trip. And I know that is going to show up in your organization volume, and it is going to be an incredible end of the month. Eric, do you have anything you'd like to wrap up with?
Nope, I think we're good.
All right.
You know,
Thanks everybody for coming.
Hey, Bill, is Charlie Tan on the call? I thought I saw him a while ago.
He just left.
Oh, okay.
I'm afraid Charlie was not prepared to be on video today. I checked him a couple times.
one thing I forgot to mention.
Who is?
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention earlier was when you have shows and stuff to gather leads, you'll get more than you think at times, and it's a good thing. Don't let them go stale. Distribute them to your guys and let them use them while they're fresh. So that's what we did at the meeting. We gave each one, but we also gave responsibility. You check back with us if you want more leads. Use these up, give us back, and we'll give you more. But we don't want them to sit on their dresser.
Was it like Christmas? I mean, everybody likes to get a free lead. It's like gold. That's why I said you had a treasure beyond belief after that meeting that you did.
Yeah, it was great. Thank God.
Well, let's do that. Let's just do that right now. Let's just give a word of thanks because this company has been truly, truly blessed. Father, we just come again today, so grateful for all of the blessings that you've given us. We ask that you continue to bless this company, to bless the leadership, to give us insight, to help the field leadership be able to see the mission that you've laid out in front of us and to bring us the people that we need. Father, we just ask all these things in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Bill.
See you guys.
Yes.